Question for you. Do you enjoy being wrong, or would you prefer to be correct? I'm just guessing here, but it seems to me that most of us would rather be right than wrong. Being right means that, when we act, we'll be doing so because we have all the information we need to make an informed decision, that we've checked and made sure that we're doing the right thing. We may still fail, but it won't be because we made a mistake. It won't be because we're acting on bad information. If you like being right and hate being wrong, having adequate knowledge before you act is important to you, isn't it? I would hope so. The thing is, it's been my experience that most people would prefer to run on automatic than to check and make sure. Most people are, frankly, very lazy and would rather go with their intuitive sense of what is correct than actually have to check and make sure. Example: humans like to categorize each other. It's said that we form our opinions of others in the first few seconds we meet them, shunting them into broad stereotypes rather than truly learning who they are as individuals. Does that seem like the behavior of someone who wants to be right rather than wrong? Another: we use colorful idioms and cliches in our speech without ever stopping to think about what they actually mean. If you look them up, some of their origins may surprise you. Do you know what the whole 9 yards actually means? Why people shout Geronimo when they jump from a great height? Or why that particular type of car is called a station wagon? I got curious and looked these things up. The answers might surprise you. But most people just take these things for granted. Does that sound like they truly want to be right and not wrong? This is part of why I make puns and play with words all the time. This is why, when someone asks me how I am, I say that I've been worse, rather than I'm doing okay. This is why, rather than saying happy birthday, I tell people I'm glad their parents fucked. I say these things to snap people out of their trance of automatic responses, to try to get people to think, rather than give rote responses without really stopping to consider what's being said. Because people really are automatons of stimulus and response, whether they care to admit it or not. But when they're confronted by an irregularity, most people stop and take notice, stop and try to figure out what was just said. The unexpected keeps people from running on automatic. Of course, I also do it because I think it's funny. But ultimately, I really would like to get people to think, and to jog that desire in them to be right instead of wrong. I want people to gather as much relevant information together as possible before they decide what is so and what is false. And I would imagine you'd want that for yourself. If you truly value being right and not wrong, wouldn't you want to make an informed decision on that matter? So tell me, how can you believe in God when what's demanded of you is the very opposite? Think about it. What is faith but believing something without the ability to make sure? How do you know that what you feel as the presence of God isn't just an overactive imagination? If you care about being right, shouldn't you make sure? But if you make sure, you don't, indeed can't, have faith anymore. Faith and proof are mutually exclusive in this context. Just because belief in God feels right doesn't mean that it is right, and you really should check to make sure. So you have to choose. Would you rather have faith, or would you rather know that you're correct? Will you throw caution to the wind and trust your own feelings about the existence of something external to yourself? God is supposed to be another person after all, and not just some other aspect of you. Or will you gather facts first? Do you care about being right, or would you just prefer to feel good? You have to pick. You can either be right, or you can have faith that you're right. Which is more important to you? If you were to ask me, I'd tell you not to run on automatic. Please, think. Please take the time to rate this video. And hey, if you dig what I do, subscribe. You might also enjoy my webcomic, The Adventures of Kinneara Baxter. You'll find a link in the info bar. Droids don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when their videos aren't rated. Bionic dances are known to do that.